Apparently, Apple is going to sell the iPhone as a subscription service launching in late 2022 or early 2023. This kind of already has happened to a certain extent when you had those situations where you would have a kind of discounted rate to buy it on a contract, because then they would know they're going to get their money back over time as you remain a subscriber. But the idea of it as a subscription, like, it changes your perception. The thing that came to mind for me when I saw this headline was Tesla offering full self-driving as a later subscription if you don't pay for the $12,000 right away. And I had a friend of mine come up to me and goes, I really want this Tesla Model Y. And they said, they spoke to somebody at Tesla and they were told that the only way to get it quickly at all would be if they either bought performance or full self-driving. Either one of those upgrades, and they go to the front of the line.
That's like 20 grand for self-driving, right?
I think it's 12 US.
Oh, is it 12? Oh, sorry.
I think it's 12. No, it's still a big thing. And so he was kind of asking me, he's like, what do you go for if you can only have one or the other? And I was saying, like, performance is so much fun, but I find myself using, and I don't have the beta yet, but just autopilot-like features. I find myself using it more. Like, I've been driving the Model S around in chill mode. I've been driving it around with comfort steering. I know this sounds horrendous right now.
Okay.
Because it's really like you're intentionally degrading the performance of your vehicle by going into these modes. But you're driving more smoothly, you're likely preserving battery, you're going to get probably better range and all these things. So my argument was the full self-driving. Get it. It's and I don't know what your feeling is on the matter, but his point was I should get performance because I can just get the subscription for full self-driving. Just pay the fee per month. And I was like, well, then you got a higher payment. I don't really like it as much. But, like, take that part out of it and just imagine that you can only afford one or the other. Which one do you go for?
Full self-driving or performance?
That's right. On a Model Y or 3.
If the prices were the same?
Exactly.
I would go for performance.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. What?
I just find that interesting, especially from you. I would have thought for sure you would have done the self-driving.
With the full self-driving, I'm not confident yet. If I know that I can literally just not touch the car and it could take me somewhere, then I'm all in.
Well, that's
safely.
That's the eventuality.
Yeah.
But here's one of these things that I'm going to tell you. I think your perception of it, its capabilities, and like what it will eventually be, is limited by lack of exposure. And the more you the more you do it, and this is just, maybe it's not exactly the same for everyone. And I love, as much as anyone else, I launch it, and then the passenger like freaks out every time. So much fun. But it does feel a little bit more novel compared to the day-to-day use. Now, it also depends how many road trips you do and things like this, because it's most useful on the highway stuff. But I think if you owned the car, if you just borrow my car for like 2 months, I think you might change your point of view.
Maybe, yeah. I think it is a lack of exposure with full self-driving.
You might change your point of view.
You know, the idea of performance that you can just launch the car, it is fun, but you're right, it is novel.
I think it's over faster, whereas the other one is useful all the time. Now, granted, like I said, I got to get the beta to see the real deal.
Yeah, you should. I think you just need to turn it on, right?
No, it's not rolling out to everybody at the same time.
Oh.
I think some people in Canada have gotten it, but anyway, Elon, I know you're watching. Just, the VIN number of my car. Just enable that thing. Give me
He knows your VIN number.
Yeah, he does. He does. He saw the order come through. Give me that full self-driving beta, please.
It's just like a button for him.
Look at that. Mo is in the chat. He didn't want to miss it.
Oh, okay.
So he's not here, but he's involved. from a distance, from afar. And he's putting all types of emojis in the chat over there. Anyway, Apple, they'll do their very own subscription, and people will be then faced with even more complexity around buying their new phone because they're going to be having this internal dialogue about what is the better value to subscribe to your phone and services and upgrade it more frequently, but in the long run, probably pay more for it. This move would fit into Apple's ongoing push towards subscription services as a whole. Over the past several years, Apple has increasingly been emphasizing recurring subscriptions like Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, Apple News Plus, Apple Fitness Plus, and Apple Arcade as key new revenue streams for the company. They have also already got their iPhone upgrade program, which allows customers to pay for the combined cost of Apple Care and an iPhone over 24 months and the option to trade in their device after 12 months of payments. They keep trying to get that initial fee lower. And imagine, Will, in an environment where inflation is rampant, you're looking for the lowest sticker price possible to get out the door. Like, please, I don't care if it costs me twice as much 2 years from now. I just don't want to pay this
up front,
a huge chunk up front. Like, that's a lot of people. According to Bloomberg's report, the monthly charge wouldn't simply be the price of the device divided by 12 or 24 months, but rather be a still undecided monthly cost, potentially with the option to upgrade to new hardware as it's released. So it's like the super fan status. Every time a new phone comes out, it just shows up at your door. The old one goes back. Your subscription keeps rolling. You always have the latest. What do you think? Well, does that tickle your fancy?
I'm a bit enticed by this.
What? I thought you were an ownership guy.
Well, I think because they have so many of these apps that you could subscribe to in and of itself. I'm not subscribed to any of these. The Apple TV Plus, Apple News Plus, Apple Fitness Plus. But I can see how someone who is in love with Apple and love their ecosystem would adopt this iPhone subscription service. It's not for me, but I think it's a cool idea.
Oh, okay.
For someone.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's going to be a lot of people.
The super fans.
Yeah, because imagine if you get like an iPhone, you also get like an upgraded Apple Fitness Plus.
Well, they're also, they have the Apple One bundles, so you can just pile it all together. I don't know what they would call it, but all your payments would come through there too, like monthly bill, because you've already got, I don't know, what you have, the Apple Card and Apple Pay and whatever else. So they'll just have you top to bottom. You'll be renting your apartment from them really soon. Subscription Apple apartments.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Whatever. More ways to get it. That's fine. I'm sure financially speaking, these things fit in for more people. The only thing I would say is I hope it's not predatory, where they are very persuasive about it. And then a lot of people end up signing up to programs they really can't afford. And if they don't, I don't know how they determine that. They do the credit check or whatever they do, or maybe they just cut off the subscription the minute you don't pay. I'm not really certain, but you can have maybe young people go in there and they're like, look, I can afford to get this subscription going.
It's like, no, you can't.
I guess you probably have to be 18, but an 18-year-old, I still perceive an 18-year-old as a young person. The mind is not fully developed over there.
Yeah.
Shout out 18-year-olds. Like, I know you're doing the best you can, but I'm just telling you, there's more living to do beyond that.
Sure.
Trust me. You at 18? You kidding me?
Oh, that was a mess.
See what I'm saying?